Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time. Not from the Zen Sports studios, but from NRG Stadium, where the Tennessee Titans improbably, impossibly, just took down the division-leading Houston Texans by a score of 32-27. It was as weird as that score feels, looks, or reads, but it was a huge success for this team that has been desperately trying to get up off the mat. Doing so against a divisional opponent is meaningful for them for a great many reasons. We're going to talk about this throughout the course of tonight. We're also going to talk about Will Levis outplaying CJ Stroud because it was chaotic, it was dramatic, it was downright problematic at certain points of this game, but it was fun. And certainly that is exactly what divisional games are supposed to be. I know it's a cliche and I know people say it all the time, but records really do not matter in these games. And Jonathan Erdl says any given Sunday on Facebook Live. This season I believe that less than I have in a lot of seasons, but any given divisional game feels more appropriate this year as opposed to any given Sunday. The better teams still end up beating most of these bad teams, but on the whole, I think you got to be pretty happy with the way that your team went out there and fought to make sure that they were still relevant for at least one more week. So we're going to talk about that, of course, talk about which rookie or which player, rather, impressed us the most in this win. Then we'll get to Sunday Fun Day, and it could just be that you won because we don't do much of that on Sundays, but you did it today, and that is all that matters. You're going to hear from Jeff Simmons, Brian Callahan, and Will Levis. Before we get into it, though, I need you guys to share this broadcast around on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. Wherever you are spending your time with us, please do us a courtesy and share this show around in the live streamed option of your choosing. If you're hanging out on Facebook, you can share now to public. If you're hanging out on Twitter, please retweet it in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And if you're on YouTube or Twitch, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. And text the link to a friend if you're so inclined, because it's very rare that Titans fans get to celebrate a win. And so I'm sure you know a Titans fan in your life. Maybe you know 5. Maybe you text the link to 3 or 5 or however many you'd like to get involved, because we're going to have a fun show here tonight before I head on over to Houston Hobby and catch my flight home to Nashville before we do the radio show tomorrow. No Sad Boy radio tomorrow for you guys. No Sad Boy primetime either. We'll get you going and talk about the most dangerous thing of all, hope in Will Levis, because that's certainly what he gave you this evening. Welcome to A to Z Sports Prime Time, not from the Zen Sports studio, but from NRG Stadium here in Houston. I'm your host, Buck Rising, and I am proud, as always, to be presented to you by the South's most trusted Ford dealer. That's Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. They'll put you in position to succeed. Also made possible by TrueMath Fitness in the Gulch. TrueMath Fitness, your first workout is free. As a Middle Tennessee resident, no workout ever recycled or repeated. Go to TrueMathFitness.com for more information. And by Zen Sports, up to $100 on your no danger first wager. If you're betting the Titans, you're feeling pretty good, go to ZenSports.com for more information and plug in that promo code to make the betting experience just that much better. 32-27 is what the Titans did today to the Houston Texans. It felt like it could go to overtime there for a minute, but inexplicably, as this game was winding down after the Titans muffed a punt. By the way, special teams, we'll save it for another day because I know you guys have some feel good going right now, and I don't want to sabotage it by saying that your special teams coach still needs to be fired. But with everything going on at this point in time, you had the game as back and forth as humanly possible, as much of a roller coaster as I think you've experienced in any one game this season, including an 80-yard kickoff return to open the thing, which set the Texans up for like a 5-yard touchdown or a 7-yard touchdown or something ridiculous to break that thing open. And you threw your hands up in the air and you said, oh my God, here they go again. Again, they're going to get nuked by one of these disastrous units. And today it seems like it's going to be the special teams day. And it was the special teams day to be disastrous, but the offense was good enough to overcome. The defense was good enough to overcome. And most importantly, the quarterback was good enough to overcome, which is where I would like to start this evening with your Two Rivers Ford take on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. as we talk about the ways that Will Levis outplayed CJ Stroud. What is Will Levis's best performance as the Titans quarterback? I think it's an interesting question on the heels of this game in particular, and certainly it will be an interesting discussion for you all on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch in the comment section. Your Two Rivers Ford take is made possible by the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Go to Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. I may have to make a microphone adjustment here because my laptop is going to die. I did not charge it before the primetime show, and I'm going to see if I can plug this in at the same time as I have my mic plugged in. But while you give me your Two Rivers Ford take and you tell me about Will Levis's best performance as a Titan, what you believe Will Levis's best performance as a Titan to be, I will try not to break my microphone jack off in my laptop as I plug it in. All right. What's Will Levis's best performance as a Titan? Let me know in the comment section, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch, because I know a lot of people are going to say Atlanta, right? It's going to be the debut in the Houston Oilers Baby Blues against the Atlanta Falcons, a 4-touchdown performance. Only three other players, including Will Levis, have ever done such a thing. Calvin Brewer says, still think the Dolphins game from last year takes the cake. It was today, says Jay. Rishi says pick six was on Callahan's obvious play calling in the second half. Levis won the game. I don't know if the pick is on Levis, on Callahan. I think it was a pretty bad read by Levis as well. But the point stands. What is Will Levis's best performance as a Titans quarterback? That is the question that I'm going to ask you, because this was a big one. This was a big one today, and I'm going to tell you why I'm going to make the case for today. Atlanta was nice. Atlanta was fun. Atlanta was exciting, and it got you through the rest of a season that was pretty unpleasant, right? 6-11, what the Titans finished as in Will Levis's rookie year. He didn't finish his rookie year because you'll remember he got hurt on this very field behind me. Ryan Tannehill had to come in a 34-3 slaughter at the hands of the Houston Texans. And Ryan Tannehill finished out that season with a win against the Jags at season's end at Nissan Stadium. So Atlanta is I think, the easiest answer, but today is the correct answer. It is Will Levis's first divisional win. It is Will Levis's first win in damn near a calendar year. He has not quarterbacked a win. I know he got credit for this year's Miami, but he hasn't won. He hasn't quarterbacked a team to a win since last year's Miami game. This is a divisional game on the road in a season where they've been left for dead. 2-8 was the record coming in. 3-8 is not that much better, but it does give you the opportunity to, 1, stave off a losing record, 2, do things that the 2022 Jags did or the 2021 Niners did, which is lose a bunch of games and then rattle off a bunch of wins en route to at least trying to make a playoff push or trying to get back in the graphic to justify all the hard work that you've put in. That's why today was the most important and the best win of Will Levis's career today, the best performance of Will Levis's career as the Titans quarterback, and that was something that we talked to him about just a few hours ago, not 2 hours ago, in the bowels of NRG Stadium, which is directly behind me.
Feels awesome. A lot of people have been working hard to get a win like this, and just happy for top down the whole organization. We talked all week about how much it means to front office, Miss Amy and everybody. So that win was for her, and just good to come here, get a win.
How much of an emotional roller coaster was that game from the opening kickoff and your guys' big score?
Crazy. I mean, we were rolling to start. The pass game was cooking. It felt really good with the balls were getting placed out there, and kind of hit a bit of a rut. Those couple turnovers and that fringe field goal range were tough. Obviously, the pick six is hard to come back from, but I was excited or proud of how we all kind of bounced back from that. Defense, special teams, everybody. We had our moments of adversity, and we were able to come through when it mattered.
What was kind of your mindset on that after the pick six? Because in the past that kind of been the undoing, and today you bounced back.
Yeah, no, just put it behind me. I just made a good play. We got the ball back and can't really think about it. So, didn't make any necessarily huge plays myself after that, but I just put the ball in play and made the right decisions and let our guys, finish out that game. So just proud of how everyone finished.
So that's Will Levis speaking in the post-game press conference. You'll hear from Will Levis again later on the emotions of this particular game. I am of the opinion, and Pistol Ramsey also adds an important important factor in here as to why this is Will Levis's best performance as a Titans quarterback. Houston, because of the beef. If nothing else, and I'll tell you this, whatever the owner might be feeling about her at the time 2-8, now 3-8 football team, and the coach that she hired and the GM that she picked over Mike Vrabel, for example, she's going to give you a lot of grace if you beat the team that she most wants to beat, which is the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans, who have the ownership who is saying, well, they can keep their little uniforms or whatever. We have our fans back. They're just the Titans. And today I saw, it was more than half full. NRG Stadium. I'd say it was about 75 to 80% full, but that's for a division-leading team in a divisional game, even if the opponent is middling on a beautiful day in Houston, Texas. They don't have that strong of a fan base. They don't have that passionate or loyal of a fan base, and I'm not saying the Titans fans do either, because famously the Titans have struggles filling their own stadium, but today was proof of concept for Amy Adams Strunk to say, no, bleep you. We get to keep the uniforms. We'll take the win, and we'll do it at your place. And the only thing that I'm going to let you get away with is the fact that we didn't wear the Houston Oilers uniforms to do it, because we own that. This is their team. This is their history. And that, coupled with the performance that Will Levis had and all the different implications of it, again, his first win in almost a calendar year, his first divisional win ever as Titans quarterback, doing it here where last year he got hurt and had his rookie season ended unceremoniously. All these different things matter, and I just realized I put the wrong graphic up on the screen. But that is why I believe this to be the most important and the best performance of Will Levis's short career. This is now his 17th start, so you can't tell him anymore that he's not started a full NFL season. And by the way, it doesn't mean that he's entirely earned his trust back, or your trust back, from all the errors that have come before. But it is a huge step in the right direction, and he's given you the thing that is the most dangerous thing to have when it comes to a quarterback. He's given you hope. He's given you to reason to at least start or think about believing in him again, and that is a very, very powerful thing. A to Z Sports Primetime is made possible by TrueMath Fitness in the Gulch. Your first workout is free as a Middle Tennessee resident. No workout ever recycled or repeated. Go to TrueMathFitness.com for more information. They'll put you in position to succeed. That was also something I asked Will Levis about today. Will Levis answered a variety of different questions, but on the AFC South and the divisional win in particular, I thought it was important to hear the quarterback's thoughts.
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, we've been setting that up all year, with that's that pin pull scheme that we've been running out of that formation, the naked off of it. It's as wide open as you can get, and that's Chig's specialty, is his athleticism, his speed. I'm curious to see what he hit on his GPS there on that one. He had the ball, I think, 15, 20 yards down the field before anybody on that side even know he had it. So it's cool to see him finish that, and that's the skill set he has that makes him special.
What is it that started to end the it was 20 points.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be like 22.
He wasn't happy with it. What is it for you guys? Because these explosive plays, and obviously Chig, it was a catch and run, but to Red Lead, to NWI, you had two of those last week. What's clicking from that perspective?
I think it, credit to the coaching staff for dialing up some awesome stuff. That one to Nick was a compliment off something we showed in LA, just a double move off that. He ran it to perfection. We got him, got him blocked up really nice. I was back there for a couple hitches and able to let it fly. So that one, and then the third and long to Calvin was sweet. It's a very coverage specific play that we just went up there and speed braked it. Knew I had it. Took my 5 again, ample time. Was able to put it up and let him come across the field and make a play. So just those are two definitely big ones that we needed to win that game.
What changed from first half to second half in terms of protection? You were sacked 7 times in the first half, I think only once in the second half. And obviously that made a huge difference.
Yeah, credit to the guys up front, holding their own. Still, myself, I can look at what I can do better, just get the ball out and check it down here and there. A couple opportunities where I felt like I could have got the ball out, but, felt like a couple of those sacks. I'd like to know how many sacks of 1 or 2 yard losses I've had this year, like trying to fight back to the line of scrimmage. But sometimes you just got to take them, and just credit to those guys and Nick for stepping up and playing well.
How much does it help you guys when Tony has a day like he does today? How much does it help you in the pass game to be able to have that balance from Tony?
Very, very much so. Tony's been a baller all year for us. Tajay being out, we knew his workload was going to be extensive this week, and he was up for the challenge. can credit those guys up front. A couple, trickier schemes that we were able to pull off and rip some big ones. That touchdown run was sweet. That trap we ran. So Tony sees it well. He gets the yards he needs to and more. And it's fun to watch him and spectate back there.
How much you hope this game can kind of be a jump start for a good finish to this season, and how much you guys need to do that?
Yeah, just take it one game at a time. We knew we needed to get this one. I'm glad we did, and we're on to Washington. So 4 more divisional games in this last 6 games. Obviously very important with how things shake out. We're just going to take it one day at a time.
I know you try not to dwell on one result one way or the other for too long, but for you to come back here, get your first divisional win in the AFC South, and to do it at a place where you got injured last year, how big was that for you?
Felt great. Yeah, it didn't even hit me until after the game. I was about to throw the jersey in the wash, and I was like, actually, let's hold on to that one. So that was a cool moment to get down here, play the top team in the division right now away, and get the win. Gives us a lot of confidence going forward. That is Will Levis's press conference earlier today, and something that I liked that it may have been in that clip or may not have made the clip, but he talked about the idea that they made a decision internally that they're not going to be a team that just gives up, because 2-8 it would be easy to give up. I mean, hell, the vast majority of us left them for dead, and 3-8 does not turn the tide entirely, but it does make you at least have to think about them. It does give them a slight degree of relevancy, and he was good in this game. I thought, not perfect. Obviously, the sacks are still going to be a talking point, and the pick 6, I thought was a poor decision by him, but incrementally, right, he's been building off each of these performances since he got back from the bum shoulder. LA, you looked at it and you said, okay, he wasn't a disaster. He wasn't great. He wasn't good enough to win, but he was sound and he didn't turn the ball over. Minnesota, he does have the interception late, but you don't really think about that interception. It's not that deep, and he does some nice things against a really, really quality defense. Again, not good enough to win, but you say, all right, maybe there's something to work with there. Today, he was dealing. And, he took the sacks or whatever, but he still went out there and threw it around, was a beat late on some of these throws, but for the most part, accurate, decisive, efficient. He has had 6 explosive passing plays in just the last 3 games, which is a huge improvement for this offense. And that was just 3 today, right? You had the NWI touchdown for 38 yards. You had Calvin Ridley for 63. You had the Chig pass late in the fourth quarter, I guess halfway through the fourth quarter, for 70 yards. He was 18 of 24, 278, 2 touchdowns, and he did throw the pick 6, which, again, you cannot have, but he bounced back from it. He overcame it, and that's huge. In the last 3 games, he's completed almost 68% of his passes, 67.9. He's got 748 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 2 picks, and a passer rating of 107.2. And these are, quality opponents that he's going up against. That's Minnesota, or rather LA, Minnesota, and now Houston on the road. That's no slouch, right? That's not the Jags. That's not the Jets. That's not the Bears, all worst teams that they lost to, but still he's doing it against a higher quality of opponent, and that is a huge step in the right direction. Incredible progress for him. Enough to give you hope. It doesn't mean that you have to, you don't have to veer to extremes, right? Like I saw Sam, and I texted Sam this because I thought it was, not that it's unprofessional, feels a bit strong, but somebody showed me Sam's tweet while we were Nick Suss of the Tennessean showed me Sam's tweet on today's outcome. He said the beginning of 2024 was a fluke. New coach, new system, horrific right tackle play, and a shoulder injury. Will Levis is a dude. Things have settled in, and he's only getting better. I'm taking it to a grave. That's too fanboy for me. And I texted Sam that. And I don't say that in front of you guys to embarrass him or to air him out or anything like that. That's just, I thought it was, it's not your job to root for or against them, right? It's not your job to be more invested in one outcome or the other, even though, we're all more interested in seeing good football as opposed to bad. And you don't have to veer to extremes is my point. And I thought that, and I texted Sam that, and he understood where I was coming from. He went to extreme on it. And it's not, you don't have to make any final determinations about this player today, but it can help inform your decision moving forward. It would be the best possible scenario if Will Levis were to resolve
any thought about them needing to draft another quarterback or sign another quarterback in 2025, because it would let you address all the other needs that you have on the roster across the board. B-Bird says, just because you're not a fan. Well, no, but it's not. My point is, it's not his job to be a fan either, right? If he's going to be a reporter, if anybody who works in this space, I don't love the fanboy. What does Kevin Durant call them? The blog boys. Don't be a blog boy. Be a reporter. You know what I'm saying? Be an objective journalist on this. And I'm not like the shining beacon of journalism or anything like that, but you guys know that I talk about them when they play poorly. I talk about them when they play well. And I think that's kind of the level that you should approach all those things with, even if they do things that frustrate you or things that make you happy or things that benefit you. Like the Titans winning today definitely benefits me. I don't have to do 3 hours of Sad Boy Radio tomorrow. I don't have to talk about Shedeur Sanders tonight instead of Will Levis outplaying CJ Stroud, which he did. So you understand those things, but just don't. My point is, don't go to extremes, especially not as a reporter. And Sam understands that, right? And it just, I think that you know, he got caught up in the moment, and it was a cool moment that they had today. But it's not our moment. It's their moment. It's your moment. And for you guys, you can make whatever determinations that you want. But in order to I think, you know, for our opinions to mean anything on the teams that we cover, I think you have to maintain that line. And you know, I'm not worried about Sam. Somebody showed me the tweet today, and I was like, all right, that's a little too much. I'll text him anyway. So Will Levis against CJ Stroud, it delivered. The way that this quarterback outdueled CJ Stroud. Think about some of the interceptions. And CJ Stroud threw 2 interceptions today, 20 of 33, 247, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, a rating of 78.7. Think about the interceptions that CJ Stroud threw today, and think about the spots that he threw him in. If Will Levis threw those interceptions, we would drag him. We would absolutely drag him. CJ Stroud was the lesser quarterback today, and that is an accomplishment unto itself. So again, it's all a part of the process. There's still 6 more weeks to go. On the road at Washington next week is going to be a tough thing to overcome, but Washington is vulnerable right now. They lost today to the shitty Cowboys, and there's no reason. I mean, the Browns are not a good football team. They won a game on Thursday. The Titans are not a good football team. They won a game today. The Cowboys are not a good football team. They beat Washington because it's a divisional game. So bring that energy, continue to build on that confidence, that consistency, that execution, and you will, at least one way or the other, be able to make a determination over the next 6 weeks. You don't have to make any final says on Will Levis today. Ben Hall says, I think Easton deserves more of your ire than Sam. I'm unfamiliar with what he said or hasn't said, so somebody will have to inform me. And honestly, I wouldn't have seen Sam's tweet today unless somebody held it up to me in the press conference, the way that Suss did and showed it to me. But you know, whatever. The same thing I said for Sam, same thing I'd say to Easton, if not either of them give a shit about my opinion. And like I said, I'm not the beacon of journalism or whatever, but I do think it's important to maintain that line. So it's your victory today. It's their victory today. It is not a win for us as media, even though it gives us, like for me, it is a win from a professional standpoint, because it makes me not have to talk about draft for another week. I'm going to spend 4 months talking about the draft. I don't want to talk about the draft tomorrow on Monday. I want to talk about football, and this is giving me relevant football to talk about. So that's what it is. Anyway, we're not here to criticize the way that anybody else talks about the Titans. We're here to have a conversation about what they did on the field today. So who impressed you the most beyond just Will Levis? Because there were some impressive moments in the comment section, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. Let me know. We'll talk about it together. While you do that, I'll remind you that the Primetime program is made possible by the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage. Go to GaryAshton.com. Get your dream address without the stress. Get the intel edge you need to succeed at the Ashton team. The official real estate agent of the Nashville Predators is Gary Ashton. Okay. So with everything else that took place today, there were other players that made plays. It wasn't just Will Levis. It was Chigakonkwo. It was NWI. Keith Bullock, you're going to be on the radio show this week, whether you like it or not, because we're going to have a conversation about this damn receiver. And I tweeted Keith today for the conversation that we had last week on the radio show about NWI. They got a lot of run. And all he did was deliver again today. He had his 6th touchdown reception. Let me find this stat from Teron Davenport because it made me laugh. TD nudged me in the press box and said, "Hey, I got a number I think you're really going to like. Pay attention here, and I'll see if I can find it for you," because it did, in fact, make me laugh as I immediately exit out of the thing that I was scrolling through to try and find it for you, but I'll find it for you here in just a second. Jarvis Brownlee Jr. made a critical pass breakup today in a big spot on Tank Dell. Tavondre Sweat and Jeff Simmons, Harold Landry were also excellent. All right, here it is from TD. Nick Westbrook-Akina has a receiving touchdown in 6 of his last 7 games. That's 6 receiving touchdowns since week 5, which are the 3rd most in the NFL behind Jamar Chase, 9, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7. He has the 3rd most touchdowns in the NFL since the coaching staff actually decided to start playing him. Nick Westbrook-Akina is a god. So for him, I continue to stand for the young defensive players. I thought they made great plays today in critical spots. I thought Sweat and Jeff took exactly the advantage of the matchup that they wanted to take. So for me, it was the defensive line in particular, because they don't get pressure very often and they don't create turnovers very often. But today they did it in a matchup that was to their advantage. This was Jeff in the locker room.
Felt good, man. Going out there and, we always talk about as a defense, be closers. And that's what we did. We closed the game and, we made the plays when we needed to. We get pissed off and when things, it's the NFL, things don't go well. Maybe like the fumble on special team or a big kickoff return, whatever it may be, as a defense, you just got to go put the fire out. That's what we did, even on a fumble. Like, you go out there and put the fire, you respond. And that's what we talk about as a defense. Whatever happened on the other side of the ball, it don't matter. Go out there and, play our style of defense. And, we have a lot to clean up, but, man, this felt good. Not just for us, for Miss Amy. We know the history behind everything, and just to see her in this locker room, with tears in our eyes, how much this means to her. Now, that's the reason why, we, especially myself, like, go out there and give it my all. We had a mindset last night. We talked about it. Let this game mean a little more and play for our owner.
What changed in the second half? It felt like that, first half Stroud had a lot of time to throw the football. In the second half, you guys seemed to get after him a lot more.
I think the way they was blocking it up, it was a lot of full slide, and they were putting 2 to 3 guys on the guys inside, and we found the way. We found the way, and that's when we started. Denari, like we're gonna be able to stop the run and split safety defense. When we got in the split safety defense, that's what we did, and like I told Sweat, no matter what type of defense we're in, if they try to run the ball, we're gonna stop the run. And the split safety defense, the defense that Denari was calling, it helped our defense to be able to stop the run and then get out to the pass and split safety defense. And that's pretty solid as a defense. So that's what we did in the second half, and I think everybody just started doing their job.
You said, I guess I had tears in her eyes. Did she say something? Did you say something to her? Or?
Yeah, she got the game ball. And, like I said, this was for her. Being able to come here. She even showed me her belt buckle. She had the Houston Oilers belt buckle on. And, just to see that, and like I said, when she gave the speech and said how much this means to her, that's the reason why you play this game. And when you have owners who care, who do everything for us, it's easy to go to war for her, and especially this game right here, because we know how much it means to her.
How'd the belt buckle look?
Oh, it was pretty legit. I'm asking, can I get one of them?
They're the kings of the mountain. They're the kings of the mountain. What's it mean when you beat the kings of the mountain?
The what?
Kings of the mountain.
Who the Kings?
They're the defending division champs. They're in first place right now.
This is a new year. Since I've been here, things haven't been going the way we wanted to, but we know that everything is still in front of us, and especially my first couple of years, guys knew, and everybody in our division knew, and they still know that we won't bow down to nobody. This is our division.
How emblematic was that safety in particular, Jeff, when you put them in that position and you're chasing at the end?
That's what we get paid for. When I go get a sack, and then our next high-paid guys on the team go make a play right after that, that's what we get paid for. We pay to go make plays like that, and, quite frankly, we've been needing that. Hell of a play by Harold going and, getting that safety. And like I said, we expect to do things like that, and that was a big play, and that's, quite frankly, won the game for us.
What does it say about a guy like Worley?
Jeff said, who the Kings? Or who? PK. just poking a little bit and trying to talk about what it actually means, because there's still a 4-game difference. Still a 4-game difference between where the Texans are and where the Titans are. In fact, they're still 2 games back of the Colts even, and the Colts did lose today, but still there's progress that can be made here in the next couple of weeks, because you still have games, one game against the Colts and Texans remaining, 2 games against the Jags remaining. That is progress. And I thought that Jeff and Sweat played again a really, really nice game. They were definitely taking advantage of the fact that the Texans have a weak interior offensive line, and they were capitalizing on that. And then, Harold contributing as well, running CJ Stroud out of the back of the end zone. I saw a lot of people calling it the Orlovsky, and I didn't tweet that because, one, I don't know Dan very well, but I've talked to Dan a couple of times. I feel like it's a little disrespectful the way that people beat up on Orlovsky that way, even if you disagree with some of the stuff that he says, like J.J. Watt did last week talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers, or when Dan was talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. But still, it wasn't as extreme as the Orlovsky thing was, which is why that is a very famous play in NFL history. C.J. Stroud, simply got backed up, ran out of the back of the end zone, called a safety. That's how you end up with 32. So credit to the defense. I thought they brought the energy throughout the course of the team today. I think they gave you guys something to be proud of, which is not really what you've been able to say here in the last couple of weeks. So any step in the right direction does matter. Ben Hall says, how is it week 11 and we're only played 2 divisional games? There's a lot of teams like that. I think Minnesota is another one. Minnesota or Detroit, I can't remember which one, had a very backloaded NFC North schedule. Maybe both of them, honestly. But there are definitely doing things. The NFL is definitely doing things to stack more of these divisional games late in the season across the board. So I would say I would agree with you, but it's not just you that it's happening to, which makes me think. And it makes sense. Those games matter more. The league is putting them later in the year for teams like the Titans, who start shitty but have an opportunity to make themselves at least more relevant for a little longer. If they're capable of doing something more impressive, then it's a great story, and you're glad that the league did stack them that way. If you can't capitalize, then it's all for naught. But you at least have the opportunity for one more week to keep this thing alive. We'll wrap things up with Sunday Fun Day, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, because I got a flight to catch. Let me know in the comments section what is the best thing that you saw on this Sunday. I'll let you know mine here in just a moment, right after I remind you that the Primetime program is made possible by Zen Sports. Up to $100 on your no danger first wager in the Zen Sports app. Football, basketball. We are not too deep into the hockey season, but hockey, obviously something that you can take advantage of there too. Go to zensports.com for more information. Terms and conditions do apply. Gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789 or check out the Zen Sports app today. Honestly, I didn't see any of the other NFL results, but I heard that they were pretty crazy. Obviously, I've been covering this game. You guys see here in the room that I'm in, the TVs. I'm pretty sure this is the Texans coaches booth that I've hijacked for the primetime show tonight. But no TVs or no football on behind me, so I haven't seen any of the other results. So honestly, I'm going to have to give it to you. You're my Sunday Fun Day. I don't think I've said that shit in 3 years. You provided the most entertainment that I've had. Your team provided the most entertainment that I've had. I mean, since the Falcons game, and that's been a considerable while, and that was really more just the wow factor of, oh, okay, this kid's got something. So you can be my Sunday Fun Day today. And this is Brian Callahan talking about the win that you were able to secure.
Oh, those are hard to come by. I thought the coolest part of the whole game was just the way that our team fought. I mean, you talk about the things that we try to embody, being resilient, being relentless. Those things showed up in a big way today. Had to overcome a lot in all 3 phases. It was a back and forth game. That's what these games are on the road in the division. That's a really good football team. And I thought that our guys did a good job of not flinching and keeping the blinders on. We've gotten in games like this before, and we haven't been able to make the play. And this week we made the play, and that was really good to see. A couple individual performances. I thought Tony Pollard was fantastic today, as he always is. 119 yards and a touchdown that's good work. I thought up front, that's a really good rush unit, and I thought we held them in decent check for most of the game. The sacks are what they are. We can assign blame later, but it was enough to win up front. It was enough to win for sure and put us in good position. Defensively, man, that effort at the end was followed up by a huge punt from Stonehouse at the end. Had his best punt when we needed it the most and pinned him back down there. Really, really momentum swinging play for us to keep them backed up with time on the clock. Really, it was just great to see the way our guys fought again. And finally, for us, we get a chance to have something to show for it, and that's what I'm most happy about. With that, I'll let you guys go ahead.
I'm sure you see touchdown and everything, but when you call the Chig play, kind of what are you envisioning there, and how perfectly did it go?
It doesn't get any better than that. I normally wasn't calling a drive starter on a movement play to get 70 yards, but what happened was they were essentially doubling Ridley, and they took their eyes off him, and the action was all front side with all the pullers. We run that run quite a bit, and it was just a compliment off the run. And Chig usually pins that defensive end, and he just slipped past him, and all the linebackers went running, and as they were doubling Rid, there was just no eyes on him, and there was nobody left to tackle him. And then he did the rest with his feet, and Chig's a big, strong, fast dude when he's going full speed.
How big was it? It's a team win, but for Will, he hasn't quarterbacked the team to a win since last December. How big a step was this for him, and also to get a division win?
It's accumulation of the last couple of weeks. To see him. I thought he played. For the most part, fantastic, particularly in that first half. He had the one interception for a touchdown, but he kept battling. You throw interceptions sometimes, and to see him come back and fight was great. But I really was happy with the way he played. He put some great balls down the field. He did some really nice things, and he protected the ball well outside of the interception. And so that's what quarterbacking looks like. I think he was pretty efficient. I don't know what the final stats were, but pretty dang efficient and threw for a bunch of yards and managed the offense. And at the end of the day, got us in position to score points, and we scored more than they did for the first time here in a while. So really proud of Will. I'm proud of the work he's put in. I'm proud of all the things that he's done to try to get himself back in the right place, mentally, physically, all those things, and it was a really good performance.
How big?
That is Brian Callahan speaking on today's 32-27 win over the Titans. So we will see how they can build or stack upon it here in just about a week from now in the Washington Commanders game. Obviously, this week will be different from a primetime schedule. You guys will have me tonight, tomorrow, and on Tuesday, and then that'll be it for the primetime week. Radio, we will do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'll be there Thursday. The Titans have practice on Thanksgiving, so instead of spending time with my family, I will spend time with your football team, although sometimes that would either way. I'm gonna not to throw my family under the bus, but sometimes that's preferable. But that's what it is, and this is an interesting week, so at least they've made it worth all of our whiles. And no radio show on Friday, I do believe. Bert, we're off on Friday, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yes, that is correct. Oh, and by the way, Jeffrey Simmons is on your morning show tomorrow, yes?
Correct. We got Big Jeff tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Okay. Well, that's exciting. You can tune in at 9 a.m. to 104.5 The Zone. You can hear more from Jeffrey Simmons after this big win. That's going to do it for me tonight. I'm off to the airport to catch a flight, get home, and hang out with the cat because it's Moonbeam's Gotcha Day, and I am excited about that. Also, I'm excited to go home. See you guys.
Go home! Go home! Go home! You're embarrassing Nashville! Go home!